BlackRock gives Macron kudos even as the French hold back their love. This is from October 26, 2017. French president stuck with low popularity ratings in polls. Tough reforms that please investors are angering some critics.
They gave him cooties is what they gave him.
That's right. So he's doing the bidding of the bankers, and his popularity goes in the crapper. But BlackRock, those are the people, rapers of the world. They have more money than most countries.
If you were running against anyone here, because enough people have heard of BlackRock at this point where it just sounds ominous. I don't know why they wouldn't run it. He's supported by BlackRock. So you want BlackRock? And just keep hammering that.
French President Emanuel Macron is hugely popular with money managers like BlackRock Inc., that is. While Macron languishes in the French polls, investors give him high marks for his plans to reform the country. On Wednesday, the president dined with 21 top executives of the world's biggest funds, including BlackRock chairman Larry Fink.
The king of woke.
Under a skylight and an 18th century crystal chandelier in the... How do you say this?
Elysee?
Elysee?
Oh, Elysee.
Elysee, that's it. Elysee.
I say Elysee.
Elysee presidential, that's it. Elysee. Elysee presidential palace, Winter Garden. Macron presented to them, in English, his plans to transform the 1,500-year-old nation. Yesterday's session was beneficial to the investors present and reinforced the view that the opportunities in France are the strongest they've been in 2 decades, BlackRock said in an emailed statement. We're encouraged by the French government's dynamic approach to screwing over their pensioners.
Wait, when they whip out dynamic, man,
yes.
Buckle up.
Their dynamic approach, I lost it, to economic transformation.
Well, that sounds neat.
That means transferring wealth upwards from the workers.
Yes.
That's what that means.
Transformation.
Economic transformation, meaning raising the retirement age. That's going to transform the economy. We continue to be interested in the long-term investment opportunities that the country has to offer as long as you keep screwing your people over economically. It's good for us. According to Macron advisors, to a Macron advisor present at the dinner, the investors asked about investment opportunities and pragmatic questions about France and its unions. They told the president continental Europe's economies represented stability in the face of global instability. Really? We should make these bigger. Striking workers stormed BlackRock's Paris office to protest the corporate giant's role. So there they are. I buried the lead. I should have led with this. What the fuck am I doing? Jeremy Schmidt, a union spokesperson, said, the meaning of this action is quite simple. We went to the headquarters of BlackRock to tell them the money of workers for our pensions. They're taking it. BlackRock manages over $10 trillion in assets, including massive pension plans. So what did they do? They stormed it. So this is inside BlackRock. I love the French. Can I just say that I love the French? I'm sure there's things about them I don't like, but... Oh, this is like January 6th level of violence.
Wow.
Where's the cops to give him a tour? Shouldn't there be some cops in there to give him a tour? Okay.
I don't think they planned on this one.
I don't think so. French protesters invade BlackRock's offices because of its private pension fund activity. Protester Francois Onick, 51, told Reuters the government wants to throw away pensions. It wants to force people to fund their own retirement with private pension funds. Of course, that's what BlackRock wants. That's what George Bush tried to do here in the United States in the early aughts when he was trying to, we're going to give some of that money back to you. Then you can put it in the market. That's your own money. You can put in, they want your retirement money in the stock market. That's what they want. They want your money. George Carlin was right when he said they're coming for your Social Security. That's what they're doing. Go. You want to say something, Kurt?
Oh yeah, it took me a while to realize pension meant their Social Security.
Their Social Security is a pension, yeah.
Yeah.
So they have a public pension, and they want to make them move all their money to private pension, just like in the United States.
So the thing that everybody would freak out about here.
That's right.
That's what they did, right?
Instead of burning down small businesses in Kenosha and Portland, it looks like the French have stumbled upon the actual enemy.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how you know when it's a real grassroots thing and not a thing filled with feds and God knows what else infiltrating things.
If they're burning down local grocery stores and stuff like that, it's a Fed infiltrated bullshit thing. But this is how you're supposed to do it. You go to BlackRock headquarters. Wow. And it gets worse. Here's the retirement age. In China, it's 60. Life expectancy, 78. You get to retire for 18 years. In Iran, same thing, but you only get 14 years because you die earlier. Ukraine, same thing. You get 11 years retirement. North Korea, you get 13 years of retirement. USA, you get 10 years of retirement. People in North Korea get more years of retirement than people in the United States.
Well, that's uniquely American.
That's uniquely, isn't that great?
Except for Russia, I guess.
And then when you're 67, you can still can work 3 jobs. Isn't that neat? Isn't that uniquely American? 67 years old, the highest. Do you see how screwed over America? And Americans don't even say anything. They just raised your retirement rate age to 67, and Americans don't give a shit. So we get the least amount of retirement in the whole world. Just so we're clear, the French are protesting en masse at the offices of BlackRock, and Americans are throwing their Bud Lights in the trash.
Again, if you want to boycott Bud Light, you got to boycott about 50 different garbage drinks.
How stupid Americans are. That's what we protest.
Why do you think they even made those? So that you would worry about that?
That's right. So it would be a distraction. All this stuff is a distraction. I would say 98% of all the trans talk in the country is a distraction on purpose. I would say about 98% of it. I would say the same thing about when you hear someone say white supremacy.
Well, that's a weird one because I'm like, wait, Ukraine? Like, no, of course not Ukraine.
Not
right
Ukraine.
Here. The Twitter files.
You know, we elected Barack Obama twice. And a lot of those voters voted for Bernie Sanders, and a lot of those voters went and voted for Donald Trump. The problem in America is economic. Is there racist problems? Yes. Is there problems with people discriminating?
Well, how are we going to keep the economic thing a secret? Of course there's problems with race here. How do you control the prison?
There, very well said, Kurt. This is because the Democratic Party and the Republican Party both turned their backs on workers. So now the Democrats and the establishment, all they have to talk about is culture issues like bathrooms and gender affirming surgery and sports and trans athletes in sports, and that's all they're talking about.
Can you imagine explaining the bathroom controversy to a bunch of people that live in the street?
Right? But in France, they got their heads on right. They're over there.
Well, you know why? They say, who quoted that? Was it Mitt Romney? Was it Pierre Delecto, aka Mitt Romney, that said, people, once there's an entitlement, it's really hard to get them back from the people?
Yes.
So they've had this system for a while that was better than the others. You're not reducing my,
China gives you almost 20 years of retirement. The United States, about half.
It's like, I mean, what if you had 20 more years to spend with your guns that you... Imagine if you applied this gun rights logic to just this kind of thing.
They retired 7 years earlier in China. Almost a decade earlier, Americans work a decade longer than Chinese people. Capitalism, huh? Our system's the best, greatest system in the world.
Well, I bet a lot of that...
We got that freedom and liberty to work an extra decade.
You know what a lot of that is, too, is the way the family's set up is your kids are ultimately your retirement.
Yeah.
And America doesn't have that kind of culture like that.
No. Go to jimmydore.com to see my new stand-up special, COVID Lies Are Funny. For only $10, you get to become a premium member, too. And come see us do our live shows. We're going to be doing stand-up comedy in Milwaukee, Nashville, Honolulu, Los Angeles, Northampton, Massachusetts, Syracuse, New York, Cohoes, New York, Hartford, Connecticut, Baltimore, Maryland, and more. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all those tickets.